Welcome to our walkthrough of the newly redesigned Science in the Classroom website. Here you will find annotated scientific papers, much like the one you're about to do for us. On the home page, these papers are grouped by the most recent annotated content, our most popular papers, and papers with data activities or multimedia enhancements. These will be described in more detail later in this video, but for now, I also want to introduce you to our partners. Science in the Classroom has official partnerships with Howard Hughes Biomedical Institute's BioInteractive, with iBiology, and with the U.S. Library of Congress. We encourage you to work with these partners to embed resources throughout your annotations. Other good sources of information are the Journal of Visualized Experiments, or JOVE, and the National Center for Case Study Teaching in Science. Let's walk through one of the Science in the Classroom annotated research articles. Each article has the same anatomy in that they each include an editor's title and introduction. These are written by the annotator and are meant to engage the reader and entice them to read on. We also provide the reader with publication information about the original paper, as well as the text of the original paper, which has not been altered in any way. In addition, we include all of the original figures with their original captions. What makes this different, however, is that we've provided the users with something we call the Learning Lens. The Learning Lens has several different annotation categories that you can toggle on and off based on what you're interested in learning more about. For the purposes of this walkthrough, I'm toggling all of the lenses on so that we can see the paper in its full glory. When you're annotating for us, we always stress that no description is too simple. In addition, we recommend that annotators leave very little unannotated white space when all learning lenses are turned on. Let's explore these Learning Lens annotations. Here, I'll click on one of the highlighted pieces of text in the article. If I click on Reef Building Corals, it will pop up an annotation with the Learning Lens. This provides a more in-depth explanation presented at a level appropriate for an introductory undergraduate audience. Later on in your annotator training, each learning lens will be described in more detail, and you'll be shown examples of excellent annotations, along with some annotations that could use a bit of work. In addition to the annotations provided within each of the learning lenses, all of the figures in the paper are accompanied by a set of tabs. These tabs provide a more in-depth explanation of the methodology, data visualization, and results and conclusions set forth in the figure. Here, we see that the annotator has chosen to highlight experimental design, the resulting response of the coral to experimental conditions, and finally, a more detailed explanation of the statistical analysis used in this figure. As you annotate the paper you have selected, we ask that you provide tabs for each figure, ideally 4 tabs or more. You can choose to highlight whatever aspect of the figure you think is most important, and we encourage you to include questions throughout, asking the user to think more about how the information is being presented and how the results compare to other figures in the paper. You've probably also noticed that this resource has supplementary materials. Our partner here was HHMI BioInteractive. Embedding some of their multimedia resources has greatly enhanced the annotated research article, and we encourage you to consider supplementary materials for your paper as well. I did want to highlight the References and Notes Learning Lens, with annotations found at the bottom of the page. This is an annotated reference section, meaning that the annotator can use this lens to highlight key papers in the body of work supporting the current research. In addition, this is a space for annotators to note how the current paper contributed to the overall body of knowledge surrounding this research question. This helps highlight the process of science. Prior work is used to guide research direction, and new research, in turn, contributes to our understanding. Each of our annotated papers comes with a set of article tools, which we can see at the top of the page. We've been focusing on the paper. Many of our articles have accompanying data activities. These allow for hands-on exploration of data analysis and statistics, typically using a simplified set of data from the original paper. In many cases, annotators work with one of the authors of the original paper to produce these activities, and we're happy to facilitate that effort if you're interested. Other high-quality data activities freely accessible from the web can also be included with your paper, like the ones we see here from HHMI Biointeractive. Each Science in the Classroom article also comes with an educator guide. These guides highlight applicable standards from learning frameworks, typically focusing on the practice of science, as well as some of the core disciplinary ideas within STEM fields. In addition, they provide a summary of the article for the educator, as well as a set of high-level discussion questions for the educator to use in class. The standards and discussion questions may be the most challenging part of the annotation process, but our annotator guide and these videos will help walk you through it. Using the Download PDF tool, we also allow Science in the Classroom users to download a PDF copy of the original unannotated research article without requiring membership to AAAS. We thank the Science editorial team for making this available to educators and students alike. The final article tool available for each of our resources is Related Science News. If this research was highlighted in popular science articles, like those you might find in National Geographic, Science News, or Scientific American, we link those articles back to the resource. This tool helps the user explore the research from the article in a broader scientific and societal context. We try as best we can to keep these as current as possible. Anything that you find that is related to your article can be included here, as well as in the News and Policy Links Learning Lens. Before you go, I'd like to introduce you to Collections, a new feature in Science in the Classroom that we're particularly excited about. These collections provide groupings of annotated papers, external resources, and activities, all centered on a specific theme. Collections can encompass any theme that's relevant to science in the classroom, anything from field of research to a showcase of a method or technique. We're always looking for more collections, so if you have an idea and would like to put one together, please get in touch. This concludes our walkthrough, and thank you for joining me.